Sunday, May 4th, 2025. How's it going, guys? Well, I got another video for you. What we're going to talk about? Kansas City, Independence, Missouri. We're going to talk about crime, drugs, homeless, and even bikers tonight. So where do we begin? Well, went up north tonight. You always got to go up and get me some pizza up there at that CC's up there, on and off. We make, at least one run a week, at least up there, get some pizza. But let me just show you what I come across here. And there was a biker with another car going up north. They, on and off, they were doing 80 miles an hour all the way up to Liberty up there. I'm going to show that. But they were also... gal that he had on the back passed something over into this other car. They could maybe their head bandana or whatever. And then when they got up in front of me, they was passing a cigarette back and forth. The thing of this is the speed that they were traveling up towards Liberty, for one thing. And then I noticed this gal had a recovery jacket, supposedly. If somebody was recovering from like drugs and stuff. And I was just thinking, man, I don't know. But another thing I want you guys to look at is how quick they pass things. And, the drugs and stuff that go on here pass pretty quickly. And tonight here in Independence, there was another thing that was going on. Independence was up there in the Gordman's parking lot. And they do a good job, but it keeps the stuff down, but they need to kind of look around too. It used to be, an old saying, like in a junkyard, if you had a junkyard dog, they'd have them chained up in the daytime so they wouldn't bite nobody, but at night they'd take them off those chains and let them run through the junkyard so nobody could get in there and steal any parts or anything. Well, the thing of this is, Independence was up there, sitting there, deterring, but they hadn't run through up here by 40 highway. And there's an area up there by that trailer court where they deal the drugs, where the old, used to be a Southern Lumber Company is. They like pulling off to the side up there and they sit. Well, I went through up here in 40 highway and there was a van. Looked like somebody had their head wrapped up, kind of like one of those, kind of like a Muslim or whatever. Kind of weird. Kind of strange, because I went through over there through the parking lot and stuff, and I went back over by McDonald's down Nolan Road and stuff, and when I come back through, Independence was sitting over there, but this van was still sitting up here. Now, I know vehicles break down. No, vehicles break down there a lot. And they sit there a lot. And there's people going over to these vehicles. These need to be checked. But on top of it, my back dash cam caught it. It was still sitting there. And then it pulled away. So we're going to show that. And it just makes the point that there was nothing wrong with the vehicle. And they're sitting there dealing stuff. And I'm going to show that. A lot of people speeding, a lot of people going way too fast. These bikers are going way too fast, but man, tonight, even over here off Chrysler, there was one that flew through over here off Chrysler. I don't know what street that was. I'll have to look as we're going, guys. But, man, it was moving. It was moving about, I'd say about 70 miles an hour going across the intersection, where it probably should be just 35. So, hold on. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and ride this over on 23rd, 291. I'm getting ready to turn this for my back dash cam. And we're just going to show this. And then these bikers come up revving too. I mean, some of them don't like me. I get along with bikers. I don't have a problem with bikers. I just don't like the drugs. And if they're moving the drugs, no, I don't like them then. Because if they're moving drugs, they don't need to be moving drugs. Don't need no fentanyl, don't need no cocaine here in Kansas City, and there's a lot of it. And meth too. But this biker and this car are together. And let's just watch this real quick. And we're heading up to get us some pizza here, but this thing's gonna come up revving and stuff. And I was just thinking, we're gonna show them here. I won't make this too long for you guys if I have to advance it a little bit, but it didn't take long for them to catch up to us because, man, they were moving on here. But I was thinking about how this isn't, bikers, they always travel in groups. Don't ever assume if you see one bike, there's just that. They might be 3 vehicles to 4 vehicles to 5 vehicles behind that. And that's what you want to understand. Because you never know. You want to look. Because, like I say, down on 40 Highway, when they ran those drugs, they always had 2, like, Tahoes or SUVs or whatever and stuff. They never ran just one by themselves. Shoot, there's that one up here, goes up my street. He's been revving a whole bunch again, but he hasn't had his 2 black SUVs or with him. And see, now this is that motorcycle. It's catching up. Now, we're doing the speed limit, but, man, they were doing over 80 miles an hour because they, like I say, they were going. Let's hold it for a second. I got some other stills here I'll show here in a second here. Bring this in. Hold on, guys. Well, that's a little bit better view. They were bouncing back and forth, back and forth. I'm going to show that on the way on up here. But I was just thinking, well, up at Liberty, man, I seen one of the officers up there crossing over where they pulled into this like little apartment kind of like complex. I think it's over by like Prairie Street and Bon Air Street. But we'll show that too real quick. But this was just kind of goofy tonight. We'll show this first. So hold on. Start this guys again. And I'll show you a frontal view. See the signaling back there. And took her helmet off. That's what she did. She must have gave the other one a helmet. Now hold on. Now watch this, guys. So they grabbed the helmet right there. Now, if he was going, why would you have had the helmet on in the first place? I wonder what the deal was like that. Maybe unless they did come from the recovery place and they had to make a act or something to make sure, like, I don't know. I don't get it. Still trying to figure out if that would, it would look like it was a helmet. I don't know. Unless it was a headband down. I have no idea. It was weird. They exchanged something. And then they exchanged a cigarette in front of me up here. We'll show that real quick too, which was kind of weird. Here's a picture of that guy, kind of just a rough photo of a guy driving that car a little bit. There's the car. I don't know. I was thinking about some pizza. Okay, guys, now here's that in front of me. I put it on my phone. I want you guys to see this. You guys about Jacket says recovery on it. They're passing their cigarette and stuff. No, that wasn't a joint. That was just a cigarette. Well, what was that, guys? Hold on. All right, guys. We'll finish this up real quick. But I just thought it was weird. Man, they come up through here. I don't know. Maybe they just got lucky. Because, man, you want to drive the speed limit down through here. I mean, why would you want to be doing 80 miles an hour up almost all the way up 291? See, speed limit says 45 right here. See, they are right there turning. There goes the car. There goes the bike. And that's right over, I think it's by that Prairie Street and Bonaire Street up in there. Let's see, see, there's like these little apartments or whatever. Ran a deal on the GPS on this deal too, boy. This place here, I don't know. Somebody had on their mailbox had put, we watch out for kids, but then there's somebody that stuck a big old no trespassing sign on there too, and it was hanging sideways. Yeah, I don't know. That didn't look too good. Okay, guys, I'm going to jump to this real quick, ahead a little bit, and show that other vehicle over here off Chrysler. This is, I don't think is that 39th, 35th? One or two up here, but it doesn't matter. It's on Chrysler. I want you to watch this black car going this way, and there's going to be a nice, shiny little red Camaro. And, man, it comes flying through. Watch this. Just watch it. Here's a black car. And watch this Camaro. Don't blink. Don't blink. It's gone. He was doing 70 miles an hour across there. Now, hold on. All right, guys. That's 35th Street right there. 35th and Chrysler. And, man, that Camaro come across there 70 miles an hour. I don't know. We're going down by Salvador's, down 40 Highway now. And sure as anything, now, I figured I'd see a couple things down there at Gordman's or Toys R Us, but never did I figure that they would be sitting there dealing that stuff here again. And man, that's where they deal up here. They like setting off this deal. I don't know, this looks like an old country boy here going across. I don't know where he come into the whole deal, but see that vehicle right there? This one right here? Well, that's where they sit and they deal the drugs. Now, last time there was a car that was there. Of course, they seen our vehicle, and it pulled up. And see where it's pulling? It's going to pull on up there, and it's just going to sit there. Now, we're going to go over by Gordman's, over by Toys R Us. We're going to take the back street all the way back, over by McDonald's. I'm going to loop back around. This thing's still going to be sitting there. And that's it right there. Now, I don't know. The person had their head wrapped up, too. And like I say, it looked like a Muslim, like in there. Kind of weird. I mean, there a lot of strange stuff goes on. And drugs, this is just a bad area. I mean, this is where the Southern Lumber Company used to be. Now it's called M&H Gas. Man, they got fencing all around that. It looks like a fortress. They open it, but they go in and out all night long. I passed there at 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, and they're already at work over there, loading those trucks and stuff. But this is kind of weird. And we're going to go on up here real quick. Oh, we got our guy from the 5 years from the pandemic. It's still over it. He's now at the Hardee's. He goes between the Hardee's and the Waterfall Park entrance. He was hanging out at Bass Pro, and then he hung up at Walmart. 5 years now, and it's still going on. See that truck and that trailer? Used to just be like a pump tent, like on the back of that truck, and then now he's got a pull trailer. But we're going to go on from there, so hold on. And we get down here. No woman tonight dumping any dead bodies or, some of that byproduct that they make the meth and stuff over here. That gal, she's dumping something that night. And boy, she was in a big hurry. Big hurry. White gal. So hold on. So I pull through McDonald's parking lot. And there looked like one of these homeless gals is up here, up on this wall over here off to the right. Now, there was a lot of, prostitutes, hooking, stuff going on from that motel over there. And, none of this ever seems to get corrected. But hold on. So I'm going back down again. Okay, I made a loop. Now, think about the time that's elapsed here, guys. Time's elapsed. Now, hold on. Let me see if I can stop this real quick. There's a Independence police vehicle sitting over here now, where my cursor's at. It's kind of dark right there. I might have another, hold on. There's another picture of it right there. Yeah, there's Independence Cruiser. Now, we're going to go on up from there. Because, like I say, it's good to deter, but also maybe drive around just a hair, just take a look. Then we get back up here. That van's still going to be sitting there. And when it sees me this time, it's finally going to pull away here in a minute. But this is a joke. I mean, these are the same locations. And then we had another guy over here. And like I say, I mean, if you don't stop these vehicles, if you don't look at these vehicles or run a check on them, it ain't going to do no good. Because, I mean, if these guys are buying, selling, whatever, back and forth, or moving the stuff for them, what good does that do? There's the van. Right there. Now, hold on. All right, guys. Let's see. Let's see this a little bit more. Okay, so there's the van. It's still sitting there. So what's it doing? I mean, that don't even make sense, does it? We had to pull up to the light. We're sitting there waiting. Go back, but it sees us. And it's like, I mean, anybody got any common sense? This area here is something they need to be looking at, because these areas where they deal these drugs are just like it's like in stone, man. And they just keep going back to the same area. It's back to the same thing, same place. Nothing changes. Unreal. You're going to see this pull away here. I wanted to kind of focus in on this. See, there's nothing wrong with that vehicle. Nothing wrong with that vehicle whatsoever. Crazy stuff, guys. Oh, yeah. And Fiska Station tonight, too, when we went back by on 23rd, is pretty much emptied out. There wasn't, like I say, any massive amount of cars or anything over in this one area here. This one, there was this one sitting here, though. I don't know. But that's kind of crazy, guys. Kind of crazy. There's the bikers, one more shot of them. See, that was that jacket that said recovery on it. I don't know. Crazy stuff, though. Well, that's Liberty's up there. But Liberty cops do a pretty good job keeping most of that stuff down. They really do. Oh, yeah. Don't forget this. On the way back, when I got back up on 435, coming back from up there by like where World's Fun and Ameristar is, there was a homeless scout out in the center of 435 walking. Wanted to show this too. And you know how dangerous it is up there, how fast these vehicles travel on 435. This is another reason why these people shouldn't, if anybody, like I say, they should pick these people up, the police should, if they're by themselves and they're up. There is no reason to be up there, but it is so dangerous. And I mean, that's why they have these other vehicles that come by and get behind the other vehicles, with like if you get a blown tire and stuff. Because, I mean, these people won't stop. I mean, they've had people out there, they've had vehicles that were protecting other vehicles that have been hit by these people even. So, that's just crazy. But I can't imagine getting up in the center of 435, walking across. That's just insane, guys. So hold on. Gonna wrap it up for right now, guys. And a lot of stuff. I mean, it just, I go out this door one time and I see 10 different things a lot of different times. And not good, because you never did that before. Never seen all that stuff here in Kansas City like that. Now, sure, Kansas City was never a saint. Sure, there was things that went on in Kansas City. But this stuff here is just a constant anymore. And like I say, Independence is up there. They're trying, but they also need to be looking at these locations. Now, I think they have been down there on 23rd. I mean, just like like I said, and they say they've been stopping some people and doing some good things, get some of the stuff cleaned up. But then some of this stuff is still going on. And this 40 highway up here like that, I mean, oh yeah, there was one other thing too, guys. I don't know if I have it. Let me check. Hold on. All right, guys. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. In between Big Boys and 7-Eleven, I almost forgot. I left the best for last. ATV on the street, not licensed. Coming down here in Independence, Missouri. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. Oh, you got a monkey. Hey, it's a Suzuki. Crossing over on 40 highway on Chrysler. Oh my God. Look where it's turning. It looks like M-Pen's got a little bit more work to do, guys. Anyway, keep your eyes open and stay safe out there.